For most people, the holidays are a time of celebration and joy, family gatherings and social affairs, marked by an abundance of delicious foods and enticing beverages, abruptly ending with a New Year's resolve to hit the gym and get back in shape. But for those struggling with eating disorders, the holidays can be the ultimate nightmare, filled with tremendous stress, anxiety, and fear.
The holidays are a rough time for most people because there's a lot of stress, there's a lot of anticipation about the holidays. The holidays are all about abundance and consumption, which is basically what addiction is about, abundance and consumption. And for people who deal with eating disorders, it's not like a person who deals with a chemical addiction. Food, we have to have food to live. So they have to be extra careful about what they put in their bodies, what situations they put themselves into. And some of the triggers for people who have eating disorders are family, which they normally go home to for the holidays, and stress. So it's really difficult for them.
24 million Americans struggle with disordered eating behaviors, and as many as 11 million have been diagnosed with anorexia, bulimia, or binge eating disorders, according to Marsters, an addiction therapist at A Bridge to Recovery in Ridgeland, Mississippi, and CEO of the McCoy House for Sober Living in Jackson.
An eating disorder is typically, it starts in childhood or early adolescence. A lot of eating disorders have got a lot to do with family of origin issues, a lot to do with peer pressure when they're teenagers, kids being made fun of in school, being criticized by their parents for their size or for their weight or what they believe in order they have to look like to be loved.
And they turn to food.
Mm-hmm. A lot of times they turn to food because I can remember as a child, my grandmother would give us candy and she'd say, "Here, this will make you feel better." So food is a feel better, it's a feel good substitute. Most of the holidays revolve around food and comfort and warm fires and nice music. But when you have a person who struggles with an eating disorder, they feel very alone if they don't have support. One of the things that I really suggest for people who go home for the holidays, they have to have a plan in place before they go home. A plan to stay in today, stay in the now, stay present. Because a lot of people go into the past hurts.
Marsters says to avoid discussions about diet, weight, and size, and to center holiday traditions around activities and relationships instead of around food. Her tips for those with eating disorders include: be aware of relapse warning signs, continue to use daily recovery tools like prayer and meditation, maintain structure during the holidays, keep in contact with sponsor and support groups, be present and don't focus on the past. Set boundaries with family and friends. Ask them not to push food or comment on diet, calories, or weight loss, or to even emphasize healthy choices during holiday meals. If overwhelmed, have an escape plan. Avoid family conflicts. Get appropriate rest and exercise. Focus on self-respect and love. She says to remember the first item on your list, even during the holidays, should be your recovery.
A person with an eating disorder, if they're not vigilant, they can tend to use the holiday time maybe to binge on food, which is, it's considered a relapse when they do that. At the McCoy House, we have several women that have come through that have had eating disorders. They work on an eating plan. They work with a dietitian. If we have more than one at the McCoy House that has an eating disorder, they tend to be able to help each other. They're not as isolated. They can plan meals together. They can plan exercise together. It's a good environment for them to be in when they can relate to other people because they don't make fun of each other. They don't criticize each other. They're there as a support system for each other.
And as the holiday season becomes the new year, Marsters warns that excessive exercising can be too much of a good thing.
Overexercising can be a part of eating disorder too. It can be called purging. Some people purge through vomiting, some people purge through taking laxatives, but some people purge through overexercising. It is really important to have balance in your exercise program, to have balance with your food intake, to have balance with any kind of athletic exercise that you do. Because when you overdo it, it's another form of escape.
To learn more about eating disorders and the McCoy House for Sober Living, go to themccoyhouse.com. For Newsocracy, I'm Jim Albritton reporting.